Hello, 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 everyone. I hope you're having a great Sunday and a great weekend. Welcome to Greyhawk Tales. This is our open love letter to arguably one of Dungeons and Dragons' oldest published campaign settings. I am today's Dungeon Master, Wu Tang Piglet, and I am hoping to provide you and the players with an outstanding tale of heroics and wonder. But before we go any further with that, let us start with introducing our players. Who wants
Hey,
to be first?
hey, I'm Geek Dice, also known as Sean. You can find me D&D PvP on the Twitter and in other places. So today I am again bringing Axadel, a young, slightly damaged elven wizard and sword swinger. I'm slightly damaged because in our last episode, in the fight inside the Inn of Needful Things, I was took a blast of acid and blast of fire as we triggered some traps to reveal some magic treasure, and fighting these undead minions of ancient scary things. I guess I've contracted some terrible disease. God, Mama.
Let me interject super quick for the audience. You will be, if you followed our last adventure, you will notice that Ada is not here. Her lovely and talented self is on vacation. However, we have brought you a handsome and talented Saverick.
You're gonna kill me this episode, aren't you? Trying to sweeten me up, butter my buns, and then beat me into the ground. I'm Sabrick. Use he/him pronouns, and you can follow me on the Twitters, same name at Sabrick. Really, really honored to be here today. Get to play some Greyhawk again, which I haven't done in probably forever. Today I'm gonna be playing Caleb Unricard. He is a cleric of Farmont. And I don't have any awesome intro stuff because this is the first time playing, so I guess I'm just going to pass it on over to Hobbit there.
All right, welcome everybody. I'm the person known as Wiley Hobbit, Scott in real life, but Wiley Hobbit here on the internets. And man, am I stoked for this game. This is a blast. I love playing in Greyhawk because, as you can tell by my visage, I'm pretty old. And I began my D&D career many moons ago in the land of Greyhawk, so this is awesome. I will be playing Aiken Glendening. He is a third-level fighter, and he's a pure dex-based swordsman. Worships Kellenan, kind of the quasi-deity of swordsmen, patron of swordsmen here in Greyhawk, and I am stoked for a new adventure and just kind of happy to be alive after after last time. Holy smokers. That was crazy. Thanks for the bit, Solace, and we will put that +2 to the players. And so I'm going to publish a couple of quick announcements in chat. If you want to help the party, or I guess hinder the party, if you donate 500 bits or $5 to the link there, you can choose a +2 that'll go to any D20 roll. And the way we do that is you roll a D20, find out the outcome and so forth. And if you're within 2, you could add that +2 if you have one and create a success. You decide whether that goes to the PCs or the DMs, and the PCs just have a pool of those +2s. We presently have one of those right now, thanks to Solace. Let's go with 2. Thank you very much, Solace. That is awesome. Appreciate that. Where's that one going? Let us know in chat if that goes to the PCs or the DM. If you donate 1,000 bits or $10, that would be an actual reroll of a D20, and again, you can indicate that goes to the DM or the PCs. So let's flip that back over to the Master of Ceremonies, the Dungeon Master himself, Mr. Wu Tang Piglet. And Tanith, thanks for that sub, buddy. We sure appreciate that.
All right. So, yes, absolutely. Thank you very much, Solace. The party. Ada will be kind of an NPC. I will be playing her, but don't expect her to know anything more than she would normally know. She doesn't have insight to any DM knowledge. You have rested and recovered as best you can from the Inn of Needful Things. The terrible events from the unholy night of Ichorfest, or Bloodfest, as it is referred to by the commoners and peasants across the Flannes. has passed. You have sent whatever dark creature or entity that was almost about to destroy you back to its watery depths, so you believe. You've burned the priceless picture, preventing that entity from using that as a portal back into the general area, shall we say, because the magic behind it's not yet quite fully understood. You've rested, you've recovered as best you can. Aiken, you are still, unfortunately, under the dark paw of the god Incabulus, who has given you a curse from his dark domain. I believe, Geek Dice, that your character, Axidel, is suffering from the plague caused by the exploding zombie, causing its disease-ridden body to enter into your body through various openings
in
and
my
orifices.
mouth.
It was so good, Ross. That was nasty.
It was kind of green and glowing.
Oh, green and glowing, acne-riddled zombie. Everything what you don't want. But again, you have cleaned the bodies out of the area. The inn is relatively safe. You have slept. You have fed. You have managed to pack up any treasure that you have, and you have quite a substantial amount. Dare I say, even a king's ransom. And if not a king, a high prince.
Aiken,
Hey,
we talked about this. Are we gonna burn this place?
oh, I don't know.
What's the right thing to do?
I just want to get out of here. If I'm being honest, I just want to get the heck out of here. This has been a rough go. I don't know.
I think we just leave. There's other woodsmen here. Maybe they'll know.
Well, no, perhaps the fairies will take care of it now that it's no longer under their protection.
I think they'll have their way.
Either
Ada
way,
walks up and asks, "Aye, what do we do about that?" And she points to the trident.
oh, right.
Well, you've got to take that with.
Perhaps we can
wrap it up.
wrap it up. Yeah.
I'm sure we get the Greyhawk. There'll be somebody who can tell us something of it.
I don't want any part of it,
You're
but
gonna-
I agree. I don't think we should leave it here. Good call, Ada.
Yeah, you should probably carry that with caution, Ada.
And she ever so gently and gingerly wraps it up in a blanket, actually a few blankets from the rooms above, and explains that she's going to take that and, quote, the treasure out to her mount / beast of burden. She gets ready to lay a hand on that magical tome and looks at Axidel with an inquisitive eye.
Yeah, that's one of you could benefit from that. That's what they call a manual of bodily health, and that is a priceless item. But I think its value is much more than coin. And I look between Aiken and Ada. It's like, if you don't want it, I'll let you two discuss that.
Hey, what does it do exactly?
You know, and I kind of thumb through it again and look at it and says, you look here, it's very fine print, and it's an instruction in the secrets, the mystical secrets of enhancing your body, making you more resilient, increase your stamina.
Hey,
It's a once in a lifetime thing, I think. Like I said, I've heard of these. Once the magic of it has been used, it can be used for a century. So the book itself is very valuable. But more importantly, the secrets, the magic secrets, they will benefit but one.
I wonder, it seems like it might be best for Ada, maybe, since her body is kind of her weapon, yeah? I got my trusty blade. I mean, we could all benefit from what you described, but she in particular. Oh, well, yeah. I kind of look at your lovely acid scars.
And the green spill coming out of my mouth.
So nasty.
This is just temporary.
Would that cure you, do you think? Would this book help you rid yourself of that ick you got?
No, I need to see a priest.
Ada starts to take items out to the mule.
And I help her the best I can.
Oh, she wants no part of you coming around her.
Thousands of pounds of platinum. Oh.
She slings it over her back. You're weak. Go sit down. Walks off out back to load the mount. My
We're set.
microphone's giving me issues. Do you wish to? What are your after she puts the mount, all the treasure on her mule, and she makes it clear that she's ready to go, as is the mule. What are your plans? You going to leave the inn as is, let nature take its course?
I think so.
Do we have any kind of or is there in the inn maybe a couple of small barrels or like a couple of small casks? I rather fancy that brew is real, the good stuff there. Perhaps we might fill a couple of small casks and take it with us. Yeah, that shouldn't cause any harm, would it?
Yeah. Nope.
Indeed, you can easily do that.
It'll spoil sitting here unused.
Well, I mean, that wouldn't be right now, would it?
It would indeed.
So Aiken will hustle and fill 2 casks. I'm picturing something, very small, probably
Like little
holds
pony kegs.
Yeah, little casks. Just get those and go out and ask Ada politely if she'll help me secure these.
Oh, easily done. Almost within minutes, you have 2 small casks filled almost to bursting with an exceptionally fine spirit.
So this mule is not overburdened, is it? I know that
No.
that coin box was heavy.
The coin box was indeed heavy, but you are actually mildly surprised at how proficient the packing of the mule has been. I mean, this is the more you look at Ada, the more you realize this is not some stupid peasant girl that may or may not have gotten into 1 or 2 fist fights with her siblings. This is a very skilled adventurer. This is a traveler who is experienced in almost all forms of environment. You would expect nothing less from a professional packmaster.
Right?
Yep, she is Renee, right?
She is Renee. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that and no further issues or concerns or questions, you head out into the gnarly forest, and there's that warm summer breeze, that cleansing and calming. The sunlight creates the ribs through the leaves. You get various shadows. You hear the birds chirping and singing. It is an altogether completely different place than what it was from 2 nights ago.
It already feels better out here. I can tell the difference. It's not so heavy or dense. I don't know, but what a couple of days, yeah?
I don't think we want to dally. We have
No.
to get out of the heart of this forest. The gnarly is worse than I thought.
It's living up to its name.
So we make haste.
You make haste. You make your way down the trail, which turns into what you would consider a proper road, overgrown wagon tracks and what have you. For hours you travel without incident. And again, the environment does not change. It's mildly shadowy, mostly shade. It's calm, it's quiet, it's peaceful. Every now and then you see a couple deer run by. You see all of the normal things you would expect to see in a forest. And as you round the bend in your track, you hear a humming, almost a jaunty tune. You can't remember the name of it, but it's universally recognized throughout the Flyness. And again, as you creep around, to your surprise, you see a man wading his little toes in a cool brook, resting and relaxing and enjoying the cool waters upon his skin.
Aiken, lo, behold.
Ooh, let's stop and just watch and see what's going on here. I assume he's clothed.
I
Only in his beard.
Sorry.
Bring out my bow when I'm drinking.
Sorry about that.
Yes, he's completely clothed. His leggings are rolled up around the knees, and his feet are just kind of lounging in the waters, relaxing.
Was he dressed? I mean, does he?
Totally dressed.
How was he dressed? Is he just a typical traveler? He look like something special? Maybe he's
I think
you
that
know
would be an
noble.
excellent time for Saverick to tell us how his character is dressed.
Okay. As you said, sitting next to this brook with his feet in it, probably sitting back like on his elbows, just sort of with his head tipped up, just enjoying the cool water running over his feet, which look to be very cracked, very worn. And his legs are extremely muscular compared to the rest of him. Looks like he is a traveler by all stretch of the imagination. His clothes aren't fancy by any means. Look like typical, just everyday clothes that a traveler might wear upon the roads. He's got looks like a leather coat that's sort of like bunched up and laying next to him, and a wide-brimmed hat also sitting on top of this bundle. His long black hair is just sort of splayed out against his back as he's just enjoying this moment of peace and quiet. He has a quarterstaff like laying in the dirt next to him, otherwise seeming oblivious to what's going on. His skin is just extremely tanned. It might belittle or belie what his age might truly be. Seems that he spends a majority of his time outside.
I'll lean over to Axidol. Maybe we should call out. I don't want to surprise him and scare him and have a bad reaction. Yeah,
He might be a wizard or a druid.
indeed. Hey, you there? Morning. How you doing today?
Is there any way I can make a perception check previous to that to see if I hear them coming by any chance?
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm not having high hopes for this roll, but anyway.
That's the spirit.
Welcome to our game.
I have no fucking clue. Let's say we probably startled just a little bit to be caught off guard like that. Sort of turns and sits up looking. Well. Well, hello to you two. He's sort of eyeing the drawn bow currently, I believe.
It's the bow is out. There's arrows not knocked.
Okay.
I would say Aiken probably has his hand at his hip, near the palm of his sword, but it is not drawn, and he's not really holding it in a menacing way or anything. Just more, not sure what we're coming up on. So, morning. Nice time for a quick relax on the old feet. Eh? Been on the road long, have you?
His eyes will sort of move to his boots, which are sitting to the other side of him, and they look like they have seen some travel. Cracked. The sole's very thin, and there's even like a little bundle of tools sitting next to it. It looks like he was probably sitting down, maybe ready to do some work on them. So it seems that he might have some sort of gift with working with leathers. Sort of pushes himself up and looks from you all down to his quarterstaff, then back. Just taking some time off my feet for a little bit.
Can I
Is
make
there-
a sense motive or perception to see if I catch that look down to his weapon and back?
Of course.
Guess we'll go with. I'd like to go with sense motive, I think. That's a 19.
I would say that at this stage, you both recognize, or all three of you recognize, that you are giving each other a fair respect of travelers on the road, but yet you don't sense any motive of harm or malice from each other. It's more of, I'm more afraid of you than you are of me, and the other guy's saying that exact same
Yeah.
thing.
All right, well, it's a good time of day if you've been on the road a long time. So my name is Aiken. This here's Axadel, and the lady back in the back tending the mule and such, her name's Ada. Nice to meet you.
Put my bow away.
Yeah,
These are
I'll walk
dangerous
forward.
woods.
Go ahead.
These are dangerous woods, traveler. Have you been in the gnarly for very long?
Not too long. My name is Caleb, by the way. Um, just traveling this way. No real purpose, no real intent. Just sort of looks around, enjoying the gifts bestowed upon us.
We're headed east. We're headed that way, I think. And as you see Axadel speak, what you see is a rather young high elf or gold elf with pale skin, freckles, and a large amount of red hair. And the side of his fangs on one side of his face, the other side of his face is pocked by what looks to be fresh wounds, scars, acid burns, and fire burns. And he's got these dark circles under his eyes, like he's sick. He's dressed in fine elven clothing, not necessarily clothing of nobility, but it appears it's been damaged. It's been damaged by fire. Otherwise, it was something that was of good elven manufacture.
I would probably give like a lingering look at that.
And you do indeed notice something is not right. Outside of the battle scars, so to speak, there's this certain unhealthy color that's kind of splotchy over Axadel's normally alabaster and fine features. He's got this almost this no man's land between a wet and dry cough that seems to be plaguing him. And you maybe he's shivering ever so slightly in the warm sunlight, which is definitely not healthy.
I think I'll stand. I'm still a little bit of trepidation between this because I'm not quite sure how to handle these people just yet. I've been on the road for so long, and I know of so many people who try to act friendly and then try to rob you a second later. But slowly stand up, pulling my feet from the sand from the brook, and just placing them on the rocks. And it acts like there's no pain, no problems, as if this is something I've done most of my life. You got a fever there or something?
Well, came across some zombies or something, and when you put them down, they kind of burst, and there's like these spores, or I think I breathed it in.
It's some sort of rot crawling through you then.
Hey,
Yeah.
wasn't pretty.
I think it's on. Most of us have it on our clothes too.
He will lean down and put the hat back on his head. And underneath of it, you see there was a disc that's sort of attached with a leather string. And there is the a symbol on it that's it looks like a horizon almost drawn upon it, and then a sun above it, just a semicircle.
I might recognize that in my scholarly studies.
Oh,
Do I know
indeed.
what that symbol is?
That is a symbol of Farland or Farlangen, depending on where in the Flanaess you follow. It is a symbol of the god of travels and the road and horizons yet met. Generally a decent and good god.
Yeah, recognizing that, I call it out immediately. Farlangen. Ah, I've read of the Traveler.
He picks it up and puts it back over his neck, and grabs the coat up as well and sort of tucks it under his arm. If you got a second, I could try something on you. It might not get rid of the rot, but might help with some of the scarring.
So you see that I instantly show this look of relief on my face. Concern kind of maybe washes back a little bit, and it's like, oh, anything. I don't know if I can walk out of these woods. He's kind of rooted pretty deep in my chest.
Hey, any help you can offer would be much appreciated. Been a rough couple of days. I'll kind of look over at Axel and Ada.
So he'll begin to approach, still hasn't put his boots back on, just sort of stepping across this stone as if it's no issue whatsoever. Reaches a hand up, very gingerly. With your permission, I have to touch you.
Oh, that's fine. and I look like I prepare myself, and I'll set my bow aside and kind of like, okay, whatever this is.
And I am going to try. I know it's not going to do much, but at least for the pain and some of the wounding, I will cast a cure moderate wounds upon him. And I would say, like, when this spell comes from me, it would have like there's the scent of a fresh breeze that sort of rolls from me, carried with like a pine. Just all the scents from the road and of like fresh cut grass, or just a symbol of nature and travel begins to wash forth from me as a warm glow begins to emit from my hand and press into you. And I'll leave it up to the DM to decide if anything happens with that.
I will say that while it does not clear his disease or cure it, it certainly does help with his breathing. And it also cosmetically, you see the ripples in the skin start to form almost as though they were water. And it starts to just wash away the scarring and the splotchiness of the acid that he's suffered. And while it doesn't necessarily immediately grow back any hair that he's lost, you can see that it makes his scalp and area that has suffered damage much more healthy.
And as you cast that, I think I breathe it in deeply. You see my eyes open. It's like, oh, it tastes like home.
Hey, Exadel, what was that like? Is that any better? I mean, it looks better from here. Did you smell that? Aiken's kind of definitely impressed with what just happened.
I feel somewhat better. Thank you. I'm sorry. You're naming it Kayla?
Caleb. That's right. I'm sorry I'm not more skilled and could help you with your further ailments, but perhaps this will just get you to the next town. Find someone a little bit more skilled than I have.
Thank you.
Hi, thank you, friend. It's very kind of you. We're heading east. I guess you could tell that by the way we were, heading. Hey, but you're welcome to come along if you like. There's strength in numbers, and as my friend Axadel is saying, these woods are no place to be walking around alone. Hey, they're no place for three of us to be walking around, isn't that right? I look back at my companions.
Well, what's east of here exactly?
East and to the north, and I looked at Aiken, and it's like, well, north of here was it Divers, and then east of here is northeast is Greyhawk.
I think we're eventually making for Greyhawk, but that's a ways off. That's where we're heading.
Never been to Divers before.
That's a
Sounds
fine.
like a good time.
It's a good town. I wish we were going there, but not so. That's where I'm from. And you'll Aiken is 5'9", very slight, wiry, 165, dark wavy hair, green eyes, probably early 20s, and he's in a cloak and chainmail, very fine chainmail. And he carries a very nice longsword on his hip.
Well, seems a great scenic road has opened up before me. And who am I to deny such a thing? You just let me gather my effects and we can head on.
Right. Very well. Take your time.
I turned to Aiken and in a low voice, I think this is good.
I mean, someone who can heal for as much trouble as we get into. And I'll kind of look back at Ada with a little smirk on my face. Not an accusatory smirk, but a knowing smirk. I think we could use the help. Indeed. I wonder is that brook clean enough for drinking, you think? I'll ask Caleb as he's gathering his effects, pulling out my water skin that I thought to fill casks with ale, but I didn't fill my water skin.
Yeah, kneels down and is beginning to pick up his quarterstaff and sort of laughs. Well, I don't know after my feet have been in it, but if you boil anything long enough, you're more than welcome to try to drink it after that.
I understand. Hopefully your feet is washed downstream. I'll stay upstream from them then. Appreciate the heads up there. And I'll scramble down and anyone else need their skin filled while I'm down here? And I'll fill my skin.
Yeah, sorry, can I? Yeah, I passed mine down.
Yeah. All right then. I'll go ahead.
Filling up your water skins. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. My bad.
I was just literally just going to scramble back up and hand Axadel his water skin back. So go ahead, sir.
All right. Very good. I will need, after a good solid hour to 2 hours of leisurely walking in the forest, I need for Caleb to make a perception check, please.
I am on point today.
Oh, indeed. You've noticed that the powers of your deity have helped alleviate temporarily and ever so slightly the affliction that is savaging poor Axadel. And you start to contemplate off to the side, if you will, what you could do to heal him. It's just something it's just rolling around. I mean, it's not your immediate focus, but and for the other characters, they can tell that little wheels are spinning in your mind as to what that represents. They don't know, but when you have that conversation, you can tell that he's thinking about something else.
Well, and I imagine that Aiken and Ada, having been there when it happened, they're kind of naturally gravitating away from Axadel.
Oh, absolutely. Ada wants no part of that at all. I mean, you look back and she just kind of waves, and it seems like she keeps getting further and further back. You know, when she tries to get that mule to go, closer, that mule just shakes its head. And
Probably even my owl. My owl
Yeah, oh,
probably
yeah.
goes branch to branch, and I summon it and it doesn't come.
Yeah.
Animals know.
You just see it turn its head 360 and drop back. The hooting of the owl almost sounds like a no. No. All right. Is there anything you
So I think we make small talk.
okay?
And I'm not sure what Kayla may have thought of us before, but I think now, Axedel's kind of running at the mouth a bit. And Caleb learns that Axedel is freshly from his homeland in Selene, where he's an academic. He's studying as a conjurer, and he's excited to travel. And recently, he'd been like questing to find a lost conjurer in his great spell book. It's somewhere up here, who knows where. But then he saw his friend and Aiken, and you learn that Aiken is recently knighted. Of course, Axel is just running at the mouth. Somebody, meeting a new person, and somebody's like he immediately attaches to you as a friend. You're a good guy, and he tells you Aiken is recently knighted. He was over in Hamlet, and he ran off some bad ones, and he was the hero. And
That was a team game, though. I don't know why they chose me to be knighted, but what an honor.
So I'm traveling with my friend Aiken, and it's a chance to kind of get out and move and see some things. So I'm pretty excited.
Well, I came from the city of Narwhal, not too far from the Wild Coast. And really, my only reason to be here is just to be here. It's my journey. I guess that's sort of like life, you just you enjoy the journey, not so much the destination. You come in black and in the blackness and scream it into the world and hoping you don't leave the same way.
Interesting.
Don't really have too much to say about accreditations or night ships or any of this sort, but what exactly are you all trying to get to here?
Turn to look at Aiken.
Hey, well, you might say we've just been kind of sent on a bit of almost a holiday, maybe. Just needed to get away from Hamlet. Seems we stirred up a bit of a hornet's nest over there, and while the locals were pretty happy, some of the less savory types in the area weren't real happy with our efforts, and so my patron, Byrne, thought it might be sensible for me and whatnot to just spend a little time out of town. And so he suggested Greyhawk, and we actually were on a boat on the Verbabonk River, and hopped ashore there north of the gnarly forest and found ourselves deep in the woods. And we're done with that now. And I kind of again look at my companions and just heading east to Greyhawk.
But that was scary too. We're on that river, and we're just going along on this ferryman's boat and this barge, I guess you'd call it, and then we were assaulted, right? I looked at Aiken. How many was it? Was it like maybe 24?
It was a bunch of them. It was crazy. They were on a boat. We were on our boat. Then they were on our boat. Then they were in the water. It was quite a scrape, but we did okay. Yeah. But
Works.
yeah, the journey is seems to be much more exciting than many of the destinations. I think I might have to hear more about your philosophy there, Caleb. Because the last destination, while it was exciting, it wasn't too pleasant. Yeah.
Seems you're not afraid to risk going too far in this instance, at least.
Nah.
And guess you can potentially find out just how far you can go.
As these little nuggets of wisdom come out of Calum, talking about traveling and the philosophies and keeping moving. Axidel just kind of hangs on that. The idea of travel captivates him. It's apparent.
And as you have that small talk and your bond starts to solidify, if not becoming friends, at least becoming trusted traveling companions. Realizing that the only threat you four have between each other is anything outside of you four, be it the gnarly, what comes after the gnarly, the environment, and such. You travel further and further. You take your breaks as needed, and you have a few hours left before sunset. You've traveled over hill and dale, around bend and wood, and across brook and small stream, what have you, unmolested by any monster or beast of the forest, be it underground or above. You start to walk a little bit further, and you notice that the road that you're on seems to be traveled recently. A bit of pottery there, a bit of torn clothing here. A pewter spoon there, a wood fork here. The things that could easily be lost. And you notice that even to you, that there's wagon tracks and hoof prints are more prevalent in the soft soil. And you turn, and as you do, you notice that the wood gets far more quiet.
Aiken.
Hey,
Aiken. Do you hear that?
something doesn't seem quite right here.
Do you think it's more of those the fairy of the forest?
Could I make a perception to see if I have that same, I don't know, I don't want to say tingly to be all tropey, but same
No, absolutely.
same
Certainly.
gut sense. I don't know. I don't know what to make of it.
Take a look around.
Yeah.
Look around well.
I think I will kind of keep myself a little, I wouldn't say I was not on guard as we were walking, but it was more casual, but now I'm, the little hairs on the back of your neck,
No, of course,
Yeah.
absolutely.
intensity up a notch.
As when the birds go silent at the most danger approaches.
We had trouble with fairies, and they were tripping us up at every turn as we traveled the gnarly.
Turns out they were trying to keep us from getting into trouble, and we were too smart to listen to them, Me and all my
Somehow.
nightly wisdom.
Send my owl for a circuit.
Your owl, after a good 5 or 10 minutes, comes back very, very afraid. Your
Which
owl is very uncomfortable.
Can it give me an indication of? I think my level of communication with it is just empathy. I mean, can it relate to me a direction?
It
Of
definitely,
danger?
the best way to say it'd be down the road that you're traveling. Perhaps another 100 yards.
Let's share this. The owl senses something quite dangerous ahead, made it very scared on the road. Do
Really?
we go around through the woods?
How
more-
dense is the
more
woods?
inside.
Could we do that without sounding like a herd of cattle? We're bringing a mule and a heavily loaded mule. Like, what would that be like if we were to get off the road?
It would sound like a herd of cattle.
Pretty crunchy and yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
Hey.
It's high summer,
What's our
Lots
time
of-
of day?
thick. You're looking in late afternoon. I mean, again, you still have hours before sunset.
Yeah.
But at this stage, you literally would be. I mean, you're headed towards the city of Greyhawk on this road.
Yeah.
To veer off of it, who knows what that could bring.
I will.
And then actually, it may bring more danger.
I will pull my blade. Just have it out.
Caleb, have you traveled? Caleb, have you traveled the gnarly forest much? Do you know the dangers that lie here?
Not so much, unfortunately. But there's no way we're going to get around this, not with the load that we're bearing right now. So we either have to decide to either go forward and face this, or turn around and maybe find another path.
Yeah, and I think another path would be deep through the woods. I guess we're lucky to actually have come upon this trail. You know, further to the west, it was just open country and deep forest, and there really wasn't much other than an animal trail. Maybe Ada stays behind with the mule.
I'm wondering, Caleb, did you come from this way? What lies ahead on the road exactly as far as terrain? I don't want to blunder into any easy ambush circumstances.
As I said, I came from the south. I'm not quite sure what's coming ahead of us
Very
right
good.
now.
Okay, very well. Maybe one of us could go ahead
Sort of
and
like,
scout a little bit.
I was wanting to gauge the people that are in this party. Like, does anyone look like they have like some speed or some dexterity to them, or
Maybe the elf, maybe Axadel. Axadel, again, he's really just wearing common elven clothing of decent quality, and he does have a shield on his back and a sword at his side. But listening to him, he's much like the wizards that you've talked to before, albeit young, you know.
Yeah.
But he seems agile.
When I pull my sword, it's not like a brutish tank type pull. It's more of a quick, and then maybe one twirl flick of the wrist, the blade goes around and comes out in a kind of a defensive position. But it isn't for show. It's like you just seeing that, you assume it's probably how he usually draws a sword, with just a little flash. You know, it wasn't meant to be impressive. It's just, you know,
Naturally impressive, anyways.
just overwhelmingly impressive. Just the whole visage. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for picking that up.
I step back a little bit.
I'd
I
be
guess
happy
my
to.
question here is, do we have someone here that would like to draw whatever this danger is away from the rest of us and let the rest of us get past it?
I'd be happy to stroll up the road and see what I see.
No, I don't know how far you're going to run with that heavy armor, though, my friend. If I can get out and maybe pull them to the south, whatever it is, and then I can meet you further down the road, you know, my owl could help me find you again. Split the party, right?
Yeah. I point down at my boots. You notice he's wearing some very, very fine leather boots. Very, very fine. These will help me move quickly, and if I get in a pinch, I have a couple of beverages. And I kind of wink at him, and I'll jiggle my pack, and you'll hear the tinkling of vials. That might help me elude and move quickly. Yeah. So.
Okay. I'm easily convinced.
How far can you and your bird companion communicate exactly then?
Not too far. He can go for a ways, but then I can't like see through his eyes, kind of thing. I have a good sense of where he is, but for a short distance.
And do you have some sort of way to communicate with him?
Not quite yet. We haven't bonded that deeply. I get a sense of his fears and his joys. Is really just kind of an empathy.
Just saying, it would be nice to have some sort of signal, perhaps, when we know it's clear to go ahead.
Well, I don't know if I think he's pretty scared. he may not go forward again without me. I could stealth forward and try to get a look, but I'm almost of the mind of what you were saying. We could draw him away to the south into the woods. And I forget that Aiken has some magic, Caleb, that could actually help him. He might actually be able to run even faster than myself. But I don't want to leave my friend alone to fight.
I could always yell if I need help.
Yeah,
Kind
we'll hear the
of
bashing
kind of
swords
give him
and things.
give him the sense that I'm calling in all my guardsmen that are with me. Hey, Woo, I'm trying to remember. Did they give me any kind of like tabard or some kind of heraldry, indication when they knighted me, Sir Hamlet of McDonald's, whatever that was?
No, they did not. That is actually one of the reasons why you're going to the city of Greyhawk.
Okay. Couldn't recall that. Okay. Just thinking of a ruse, perhaps, but I don't have the visible accoutrement.
So the group's plan is to...
Sacrifice one of our party members.
Yeah.
So we can get past.
Nice.
I mean to let him draw the danger away so the rest of us can get past.
I like it. It's classic and noble.
So what I'll do is I'll walk up there, and if I draw attention to something vile, I'll head south. And
okay.
maybe the owl can go up and stay above you and just see me.
Yeah.
So we don't exactly know what we're going to be facing up ahead. If it's something that you feel that we can take, then give us some sort of sign, and we'll come to your aid.
Aye.
Otherwise, we'll assume that you won't be drawing it away from the road, so we can get this beast of burden a little bit further north, away from here.
Very well.
All right.
I think we have our plan.
Okay. And you stand and watch Aiken heroically walk down the road.
I'm gonna try to stay to the side of the road, at the tree line, and do as much stealthily as I can. I'm not just gonna like walk down the road all Clint Eastwood in a spaghetti western.
You heroically watch Aiken walk down the side of the road, using as much cover as he can.
Yeah.
Using the shadows as his greatest allies. And you walk and disappear as the road turns south ever so slightly. And what your character sees is, let's see if I can do this.
Okay, so the master, this is the familiar. The master has empathetic link with his familiar for a 1 mile distance. I can communicate empathetically with the familiar but cannot see through its eyes. Because of the link's limited nature, only general emotions can be shared. The master has the same connection to an item or place that the familiar does. So I do want to, I guess, have the owl follow him and watch him as much as it was willing to do so. I acknowledge it's afraid, but I can't see. But I don't know if it would tell me if it's panicked if my friend dies. Dragon jumps up and bites him or something.
Aiken, can you see that map?
I can. Yeah, and I've got
Very
it
good.
on stream now. It'll pop up in a sec here. Once
Fantastic.
it's done being delayed.
Unbeknownst to the rest of the party, as you round the bend in the road, you come to several, well, at least 4 carts, not raging with flames. The flames are certainly small, much like a small campfire. But strewn about is almost an open charnel house. Piles of bones litter the field, blackened and burned trees. Full-sized wagons have been overturned, their contents scattered about as though a whirlwind has hit, from what you can see. The smell of death and a and a sickly, thick, acidic odor hangs in the air. Although you can't see anything, you smell that deep ammonia like scent.
Okay. I'm gonna now that I've seen the scene, I'm gonna kind of crouch down and maybe stealth to see if I can remain hidden from view of anything that might be there, and then maybe hit that with a perception afterwards to see what I can see from my position.
Oh, certainly.
That's not spectacular, but
You're kind of confused. You're not sure I mean, there's a lot of bones and a lot of ash, and it looks like, this small caravan tried to circle wagons like a caravan normally would for rest. But you don't see arrows in the wagons. You don't see any monsters, so to speak. No goblins, no orcs, hobgoblins, bugbears.
Are there
no?
Are there bodies near any of the wagons from where I can, I'm assuming I'm over here
where
in
you
the
are
trees,
You are in the upper right hand or upper left hand corner.
Okay.
Of the map.
Good.
I will move you. I'm actually going to move you to the very far left, upper left hand quadrant. You're by a tree and
I see me now.
low brush.
I see me now.
And every now and then you see the remains of what looks like a burned body. You think it's burned. It's very strange.
Hey, I'm just gonna sit for a couple of minutes and see what I see.
And again, that's
it. Nothing. No movement.
No movement whatsoever.
Right. So I think what I'll do at this point is head back to the party. How far away from them did I venture to get to this point?
About, you would say 50 to 80 yards.
Okay.
Unfortunately,
don't say that.
if you were going to follow the road, you would actually have to pass through this area and go to the lower right-hand side of the map to get back on the road.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. I'm going to just follow.
Straight.
I'm going to retrace. I got you. Yeah, the road kind of loops a little bit. I think I'll just retrace back. I don't want to get into this until I have
easily
help with my friends. All right, so I'll return to the party. Hey, so I've seen quite a grisly scene up there. Looks like a small caravan was circled for the evening or whatever to camp, and they were beset by something. The carts and the wagons were overturned and busted up, but I didn't see any signs of any enemy. But it looks like maybe there was some deceased bodies. There's a couple of the carts are still burning. But, I don't know what to make of it. I didn't see any arrows. I didn't see any creatures, any orcs or goblins.
Any footprints?
Well, I didn't get in that close. I didn't want to get out of the cover for fear of exposing myself.
And they're dead people.
It looked like there may be a few corpses laying there, yeah. Wonder if maybe your owl might
in their wagons
fly in there and look around a bit.
Yeah.
Get for a closer look,
He followed you, I guess, to the edge, but he didn't want to go any further. You could try again. I summon the owl back to me, if it's up on a branch, and come bring it down to my arm, and I look at it in the eye, and we have our connection for a moment, and I try to soothe it. I pet it and try to soothe it.
Flutters quickly
reassure it.
back up into one of the branches.
And I try to reassure it, and I tell it, go in, it's safe. Just count the people, Moving and not moving.
Make an animal handling check, please.
Okay. Handle animal. I'll probably need some ranks in that skill if I'm a conjurer.
It looks at you, and with some hesitation, it flutters off. And not long after it comes back, and it's very, very shaken.
I soothe it. It's not telling me much.
It's not.
Mm.
He's new.
Well, I don't know if we all want to kind of move in closer and have a look as a group. There was no threat that was visible.
Yeah.
An awful stench, and just had that smell of death. Not a pretty scene, but I think maybe
Let's
having
investigate.
all of us there might be safer than just one of us.
We have to pass through here. We have no choice at this point. I wouldn't suggest bringing the cop very close, because if we need to get out in a hurry the other way around, it's probably best not to have it in the middle of all this mess.
We don't have a cart. We got a mule.
A mule.
Hey, maybe Ada can. Well, I was gonna say maybe Ada can walk the mule up the road, but we haven't gone up the road. Maybe we should take the road and come into this site from the south. I came in from the kind of the northwest, straight from here.
For you to come in from the south, you would actually have to cut through the forest itself.
Oh.
And again, you'd be making lots and lots
Yeah.
of journeys.
So does the road actually loop north
he'd come in
around
from
this?
Where, the west?
No, the road would go north and then turn south.
Gotcha.
And then that's where the field is. And to get to the other part of the road, you'd have to go, which connects on the other side of the field. It's like a road, field, and the road.
Hey.
We'll follow your lead.
Heroic.
Hey, follow me then. We'll just come straight through. I don't want to leave Ada exposed with the
No.
mule on the road or anything. All right.
Yeah,
let's
with all of our
just
loot.
try to be quiet. So we'll head back to where I came out in the northwest corner there. And I'll have my sword drawn.
Bow's out, arrow knocked.
Everybody on that map.
This is fantastic.
Oh, good heavens. So, fires still burn?
Yeah.
But again,
Couple
they're
of
not raging.
smoldering, yeah.
Gotcha.
You are not all on this map, even though I put you all there.
Magic up.
Some of them are more hesitant
All right.
to show themselves. Their stealth rolls were higher than mine.
I will.
Should we
I'll
throw
just-
down our tokens?
Yeah, I'll just throw your tokens down on there.
Okay.
Up in the upper left-hand corner, please. Caleb, I have your character up there already. And we will assume that Ada is just right behind you folks.
I need to have a talk about what you mean by a few corpses in the future.
Oh, good heavens. There's a lot of bones. What is
Where the-
this?
The earth is... well,
Oh, are those all bone piles?
yes.
Oh, I missed that. Okay. Hey.
Might want to take another screenshot for the...
Yeah, I should have zoomed in a little
The
further there.
audience.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
So we see these piles of bones, right? Are they bones or is there flesh on them?
You have to get close to investigate first.
Sure.
Step forward a little.
Crap.
Yep.
To your horror, and amazement, you see that the bones have they've almost been stripped of their flesh. I mean, there's a little bit here and there, and it's this sickly yellowish green color. Um, it's almost like the bodies were caught on fire, like they almost combusted and just dropped right where they were. Some dropped where they were just standing. As you start to look around, you see that some were in mid sprint, running. You see again equipment and goods and barrels and crates strewn about, whole wagons turned over.
And I point to the south and see that there's appears to be a darkened body that lays there. It's not a pile of bones, but it's a body, right?
Indeed.
What can we tell about that?
Make a perception check or medicine check if you have it, or arcana, whatever is best for you.
What's the current lighting conditions?
Bright light.
14.
You're still good. And let me look at your score here. It's almost as though the body was burned, but not necessarily by fire, almost a chemical reaction. The body is desiccated and twisted. And forgive the reference. If you've seen any of the black and white footage of World War II of Auschwitz, the horrors that have taken place there, that's what a few of the bodies look like, that emaciated a form. But the form obviously isn't natural. It didn't, wasn't through natural starvation. Something that has just shriveled the body up under the pile of the bones, and you can see where, obviously it wasn't just one skeleton. It may have been 3 skeletons. It's a very odd situation.
So I get a little bit closer, but not too close. I want to really kind of just get eyes on. So I kind of crouch. Maybe it's 5 feet from the bones and from this blackened corpse.
You get that whiff of ammonia every now and then when the wind shifts. But there's just and strangely enough, the odor of death isn't this thick, heavy, sickly sweet stench that you would expect from this many bones. It's almost like it was burned away, like it's a later in life touch of death as it lingers.
So do these bones look like they're freshly dead, or are they old and weathered bones?
They do look like they're freshly
dead.
Would there be any way to sense, based on how much of those carts that are still burning have been consumed, would it be able to tell if it's been like a day or two?
It is definitely, the carts do not look weathered at all. I mean, this is not something that's happened weeks or months ago. This is recent. How recent, you're unable to tell. And again, the fires that you see are not these raging fires. It's a low ember burning campfire type thing. As you check the barrels, you see that they were carrying various foodstuffs and sundry items that you would expect in a caravan making travel for that many people. But all the food is spoiled.
So the size of the skeletons, if it can be determined if they're in a pile, do they appear to be human size in this
Absolutely.
this blackened corpse?
Absolutely, definitely human.
Can I see from where I'm at? Are there any
and
standards or anything, signage on the carts that would indicate a merchant group
nope,
or a
from
city?
uh, from where your character is standing, no.
Okay.
But that just means that there's nothing waving in the wind. You
Right.
know,
So I would,
there you'd have to get closer to.
yeah,
to
I would
look at
probably kind of
the
come
carts
down.
and wagons themselves.
I would probably kind of come down through here, and maybe get behind this
Okay.
tree. Just again, I'm not going to stroll through the site, but get maybe where I can see this cart
Right.
and this guy here. See if that
Um,
helps.
Caleb, have you ever seen anything like this? What do you think this is?
Can I get a point of clarification real quick before I answer that?
Absolutely.
It's something about green, but I wasn't sure if you were talking about the flesh itself is like sickly green, or if there's like a green film or liquid.
There's a green tint, a yellowish green tint, but it's very very soft. Okay, it's not like a bright green and a bright yellow. It's if you look at it in the right light, there's kind of this pallid look to it.
The bones don't look like they're pitched or burnt themselves from like some sort of acidic.
Right, and that's the strange thing is it's almost like the biological matter attached to the bones, the sinew, the muscle, the flesh, has been dissolved or burned itself, but not so much that it would incinerate the bones.
The green is not green like my phlegm, is it?
No, it is not. No, yours is a sinus infection green.
I don't know if there's a check I have in particular that might help with this, like knowledge, religion, or something of some undead nature, or
Oh, you absolutely can do a religion check to see if
Ooh, nice.
it is absolutely positively beyond a shadow of a doubt unrelated to any necromancy or undead. But you can your heart kind of sinks for just the overwhelming amount of destruction that you can see, and if you go lower on the map, you'll see a whole lot more destruction.
Wendell,
But
oh, go ahead.
with Aiken, from where you're standing behind the tree, and little wisps of smoke seem to come out of it as though it had recently caught fire. You can see just awful blood stains on the closest wagon. Just not sure what has taken place here. Perhaps further investigation of the area may give you some more clues, or you can traipse on south and ignore it.
Hey.
so I guess to answer the question I was asked before, I would say I was probably like sitting there like gently pressing on the flesh of the skeleton that we're here now, just to see its consistency and such, to try to get an idea. Sort of sigh, stand up, and not take a deep breath, because I don't want that smell and that ammonia just to infuse in my lungs. And just know it wasn't done by anything undead. This is definitely not the work of, well, I don't want to say it's definitely not the work of something living. Bandits would have tried to salvage the supplies here or something. Sort of give a troubled gaze over. I don't know what this is, but we are in grave danger by being here right now.
It doesn't feel good to me either.
And the greatest drop hits your guts as you're surveying the destruction and, dare I say, slaughter of so many. Is every now and then you come across that pile of bones that is ever so slightly smaller than an adult.
Spared no one. What does this?
I would kneel in front of one of those and just sort of give a last kind of rites thing. Because in my mind, adults have a choice of where they're going, where they're coming from, some sort of calculation in life. Children being innocent completely of any wrong.
Yep.
And just realizing the horror of both the scene and whatever did this just punches me in the gut.
I need Calum to roll a percentile check. So roll 2d10, please. And whoever has the highest perception check, because I'm going to assume that you're going to do some more investigation on this.
Yeah, I've got a pretty high perception. Plus 10.
I will have you roll the perception check, but at +2. This will represent all of you looking around, searching, what have you.
20.
Very good. I would like all of you to please place your marker someplace on the map to indicate where you're at. I mean, you can't perceive and investigate from afar.
Right.
Yep.
You know.
So
Go ahead.
I was going to say that, maybe we keep Ada on the edge of the clearing. I want to keep her in sight. But, and I'm probably going to stick to close to one or the other, but I definitely want to encourage Caleb to maybe let's step around and take a look. So I come to this point and I see this tree. Does this tree look blackened?
Absolutely. It has caught fire.
Interesting. And I continue more to the south and I get down by Aiken. I say, look at that. What is that? That's an open grave or something. What is that?
Hey.
Before I answer that question, Caleb, after you've administered your rites, you can't quite explain it, but you feel better. There's just a drop of ease and rest that covers your shoulders.
Hey, this is terrible.
As you walk through, every now and then you gently and guardedly walk through, trying not to disturb anything, and you see everything you would expect to see from a wagon, train, or a caravan scattered about, as I said. But every now and then your booted foot will step into and slide on the grass as you look down, and there's just a big red spot that you can only assume there was a guard, perhaps. Whatever the hell was there, something took it out. Took the guard out, or guards, because it seems to be in pairs. And Axidel, as you look at this area, as you pointed out to Aiken, it's not an open grave. It's where the brown area is where the grass has been burned and incinerated, and the almost the earth itself has caught fire and combusted. And then it dawns on you, this pile of bones were people terrified and waiting for whatever horror that was happening. They were caught in a conflagration. They were hiding in the trees, waiting for whatever terror to pass. And
you see this sudden look of knowing on my face, Aiken, as I look. And I look to the grass. I step forward to these bones in the grass here, and I look. Is the grass also covered in this green something?
It is not.
It's just the bones.
Just the bones that have a slight greenish yellow pallor to them, and it's this scorched earth, almost like an acid.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. Acid and fire. Acid and fire.
What? But what could cause this? It's almost as if everything was
Dragon.
destroyed at once.
A dragon.
My eyes get really big.
And it dawns on you. Dragon. It was so far outside the realm of possibility, because that is something of fable and myth and legend. No one's ever really fought a dragon. When's the last time a dragon has ever been around?
And look over there. There's another swath.
I'm going to make my way around, see if I can see any big footprints. Now that he said dragon. And again, if I get anywhere near like bones or any desiccated body, sure, I'm going to step over around. I do not want to defile, dishonor,
of course,
disturb.
Sure.
Yeah. But I'm going to look for
and
footprints.
Yeah. Of course. And more, the scene kind of plays out. You know, you see a line of skeletons running. You see or in a line, you see another line of skeletons, you know, huddled and destroyed. They were waiting too, or perhaps they were fleeing. You see this line of skeletons in mid-stride, and they were just...
Do I know the type of dragon that could breathe a cloud of acid or shoot jets of fire? Is there one dragon that does both?
There is not one dragon. From your studies, you remember dragons are known as the pyrodrakes, the fire dragons, and black dragons are ones that tend to breathe acid, but they also tend to inhabit swampy areas. And green dragons would be a chlorine gas, and it starts to click, chlorine gas. Some dragons have flammable venom. Not all dragons are the same. As you're wandering around looking through the destruction and again, slaughter of this somewhere between 75 to 100 people, your eyes lock on something horrible. A single 18-inch long, 8-inch wide green scale. You've never been this close to a dragon scale before.
Who found this?
Mm-hmm.
Who found this?
You did. You see it?
Oh. I pick it up and I turn it over in my hands.
It is
what have you got there?
It's a dragon scale.
I'll come over. So you're saying these beasts are for real? Like dragons are a thing?
Oh, they're definitely for real. They don't show themselves often.
And you're saying one could do all this all at one time, eh?
It might.
I don't know.
The size of that scale.
And over here,
Massive.
where I'm pinging on this swath, you see...
Oh, not seeing it.
On the
okay.
right-hand side.
Yep.
Looks like a firing line of archers that were snuffed out. Behind them, piles of bones of perhaps armored warriors. You see the pitted and rusty remains of armor on them.
Hey, this was a well-armed caravan now. And we haven't seen anything like chests or anything of value.
Nothing.
As if I'm not mistaken, dragons like shinies, aye?
They've got minions, or so I've read. Minions that they could send in here to clean out any loot.
All I know is we're in a field with a lot of open sky above us. Suggest we don't stay here any longer than we have to.
I think we maybe take a look and for any anyone who might be alive, just give a walkthrough, or any treasure that was left behind.
I need all of you to make a willpower save.
No,
No, you don't. That's not part of the game, DM.
we're no longer at the Inn of Needful Things.
Yeah, you've had enough of those saves. Thank you very much.
Give myself double advantage.
Take that, you
Very
save and
good.
throw.
Outstanding.
Oh, you gotta subtract 4 from mine. I forgot to do that.
That's right.
So that's an 18 still. So
you-
still
you-
good.
Yeah, you absolutely
I forgot
do
about that.
fantastic.
Still a crit.
Without
Yeah.
retching and without running in terror through this field of death and sorrow, you make your rounds and realize nothing was left alive. Nothing.
Oh,
And
so
of
hopeful.
all the fight, also you see what every now and then you pick out what may have been a wizard, an arcane spellcaster of some sort.
I poke at them for any magic items they may have had on them. Magic pendants, staff of the Overlord.
Yeah, no, nothing like that.
I got to stay true to purpose.
I understand that. And of all that they could muster, of 100 people, they inflicted 1 scale of damage on that beast. And then something even more horrifying. You find 1 smaller scale.
Oh, that may come off its tail. The color doesn't match, though. I explore the depths of my dragon lore. What kind of dragons were these 2 dragons?
Indeed. 2 dragons. You would definitely say that they were green. And by the looks of it, perhaps it was a mother teaching its child.
I think we should go now.
Yeah, tuck those dragon scales away.
I don't know what we can really do here other than die with them. If them dragons are a real thing, and by the looks of them scales they are, we might consider getting out of here.
Civilizations anywhere nearby?
We're all woken briefly from your thoughts by the sound of the mule, so to speak. Ada is standing there ever so quietly watching all of you.
And with my arm kind of waving motion for her to go around the edge and meet us down there.
She ever so slowly and guardedly makes her way around the tree line towards your area.
Yeah, I think we exit south, right?
Absolutely. You would exit
South.
Southeast, I think, to the road.
down towards the corner. And again, your eyes pass over the line of inhabitants fleeing in terror. They were removed from this universe.
Hey, that's a grisly scene indeed.
If this is here now, this is a sign of things to come. Orcs, now a dragon.
How far are we from, by our reckoning here, how far are we from any settlement, village, or otherwise?
You're not quite sure. In regards to villages or small settlements,
Okay.
because a lot of them just don't have names. It's just people saying, here's land. I'm going to grow stuff.
Yeah.
But for a city, you're about 6 to 9 days.
Okay. Just trying to figure, like, how far off the beaten path are we here that this thing could be a local beast?
It's you have a gut instinct that's close enough to divers that this land probably would fall under divers proper jurisdiction, but just never heard of a dragon ever being active this close to a city.
Yeah.
Like ever. It's always, the tales are always, the knights had to travel weeks on end to, in the mountains or the hills, and we're months away, but this close.
Hey, this is not a good sign.
Aiken, do we go to divers? Do we instead go to divers? I mean, if that's a day or two to the north instead of 6 or more days to the east.
Right.
I mean,
we need to let somebody know what we found.
We're also putting ourselves in a whole lot of danger between here and there. We have to remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm not sure, but from what I remember and what you've told me, if it's 2 days to divers, it might be 2 or 3 days to the end of the gnarly and into the open, into the the protectorate of Greyhawk, but it's days past that to get to the city proper.
Right. Might be quickest to get back to divers, and of course I know people there. Being from there, we could connect with the guard and so forth, and let somebody maybe more qualified
Caleb,
than
you
us
came
to
from-
deal with this.
And you said you're from Narwhal, Caleb. That's a couple days to the south.
Yeah, it's a good journey to the south from here. You say you know people in divers. How well do you know these people?
Hey, I'm born and raised there. My father is the head of the Weaponsmith Guild.
See the color sort of drain from my face. You're going to have to be prepared that the city might not be there anymore.
What do you mean?
Just sort of like wave a hand at the destruction that we're sitting amongst.
Hey, well, this is just a little caravan. I clearly didn't stand a chance, but we're talking about a city with militia, ballista, mages. You're talking about divers,
Navy.
lad. A navy. You can tell Aiken is.
Shouldn't exist.
Yeah, you can tell Aiken has no clue about dragons.
He's in denial mode right now. Hey, it's divers, man. Back off.
Like, if I hadn't seen the scales, I'd think you guys are alarmists.
I'm not trying to get into your head, make you think the worst, but you need to be prepared for the worst.
Hey, well, I don't know. I don't know nothing about dragons, other than what I'm looking here around me. It's not good.
So hold up the larger of the two scales, and I'll imagine what it looked like for a breastplate.
Just saying, we might be walking towards our doom by going there.
It could be true in any direction, though.
Hey. Well, I think we make haste to divers. That's the closest way we can get to any.
I'm your sworn man, Sir Aiken.
Thank you.
Rise skyward.
Plus, it's the closest settlement, so I think for our own safety, it's probably best.
Yeah.
It's getting on towards night, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
It is certainly headed that way.
So we need to make some distance between us and this hunting ground and get off the path. No
Yeah.
fire tonight. We want to attract attention to us at all.
Yeah, indeed. There's probably those that come after a great predator, clean up the remains. We don't want to be anywhere near here.
Absolutely. Very insightful thought. But if you are going to hasten your way out of here, I will need Axidel to make a fortitude save. Being under the weather as he is.
I clicked it, didn't pop up. Let's try that again. Click. There we go.
Oh, very good. All
Nice.
right.
20.
And you're not quite running down the road, but you're traveling as fast as Axidel will let you travel. Being that he is suffering from the plague. How long do you? I want to word this correctly. Mechanically, do you wish to max out your abilities, or are you trying to take things in doses? As in, are you trying to travel as fast as you can for as long as you can, as quick as you can, or are you kind of, let's hurry as fast as we can in a short way, walk, pace ourselves,
Yeah, I guess,
travel fast again?
I guess from what Caleb said is get away from this spot.
That's what I'm.
Right. So
That's what
I
I'm
don't
thinking.
know what the others' intent is. Like travel all night, maybe not, but just get away from this spot.
Yeah, I would want to get away from
Yeah,
here
this
and maybe
is-
camp, and make camp and
This
rest a
beast of
little bit.
burden who's already like heavily laden down, we're not going to want to push it.
Yeah,
You know, because the harder we push it, it's going to go nowhere after that. So
that's right. And who's going to carry our 5,000 platinum pieces after that?
I think 5,000 platinum pieces might be a bit of a stretch.
That's
there.
what I heard. That's what I
You're
heard.
getting
Yeah.
visions.
4,500.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah, 4,812. That's what it was. Yeah.
I'll try to be reasonable.
just go at a methodical pace. You know,
Ada, why are your pockets so bulgy right
Yeah.
now?
definitely high alert. Not just the ground, but the
Right.
air. Because if you're saying this thing has minions of sorts, then or any other like, you know, at night is all when all the hunters are going to come out, and if they smell fresh meat, they might be drawn towards it. So we have to make sure that we're cautious about all that.
I listened to the expert traveler. In fact, I'm taking notes.
Right. Do you think we should press on through the evening, or would you see the wisdom in at least getting some rest, maybe a few hours? We can set watch.
I don't think that poor animal's going to be working through the night.
Aye.
It's already carrying quite the load upon it, and I think the load on our spirits and our souls right now could probably use a little bit of a rest, to be honest. So let's just get away from the road, collect ourselves, have something to eat, and prepare ourselves for what we might come upon the next morning.
Wise words.
Very good. Then that is indeed what you will do. You feel as you travel down the road, and again, it starts to get more proper, more solidified as a road, more recognized as a well-traveled road. You feel that death hangs in the air at every turn, at every twist, every rise and fall of the road. You're waiting for a claw to reach out from the sky or the forest, snatch you up.
Nope.
But fortunately, you find a place to make camp and have a cold camp with a cold meal. And all through the night you listen, but you are met by the next sunrise, unmolested and unharmed by any minion or beast
Hey, that's how we like it.
This actually happens for several days. And you notice that the land has become less hilly and flattened out. So you know you're leaving the Cron Hills portion of the gnarly forest. And you have come across a little stone marker on the trail. And in Old Iridian and scrawled or chiseled in common, it says Low Road. So you know you're on the low road to Divers and or Greyhawk. Again, days pass. You keep looking over your shoulder, waiting for the worst, and nothing happens. Eventually, you come out of the gnarly forest. There are great tracts of land, fields for as far as the eye can see, just as fertile as Mother Earth can make it. There's the hint of honeysuckle. There's the hint of wild flowers. But yet there's also less of birds and wildlife, as you would expect. You're traveling ever so slowly, it seems, but in reality, you're traveling normally. And one day during your travels, maybe, you find yourselves coming to a fork in the road.
Load ourselves over there.
Yeah.
Throw my chicken down. Come to buy a pretty bird. Who's a pretty bird?
Are you loading tokens, Woo?
I have.
I can. I just didn't want to have two of me on there.
No, go ahead. Go right ahead, man.
Okay, cool. Hey. There I am.
There you go.
There you are, mates.
And you're traveling, and you see two wagons ahead of you, just a little bit off to the north. There are at least three figures sitting around the large tree. The sun shines brightly. You've been blessed with incredibly good weather. But off in the distance, you can see the looming darkness of clouds naturally bubbling and brewing. Yes.
So, question. Up until this point, following this road or this track, have we seen settlements? Are we in an area where we start to see quite a bit of a buildup, or is it still kind of in the
It is
the plains, the wilds?
it is still kind of the plains and the wilds. Every now and then you would come to a cabin or a hunter's shack, but it was abandoned from just no one being there. No fear, no destruction, just, oh, they're not here. And you didn't want to stand around and wait for anybody for
No.
fear of what you'd seen days ago.
Yeah, and I think in general, we're probably looking to make our way to some notable establishment. You know, Aiken probably knows the territory. You know, whether we hit a village or a town or a city. You know, we're kind of following his lead.
How far out are we now from Divers? Am I starting to recognize?
You vaguely remember being a young child coming out this far.
Yeah.
Can't remember why you came out this far. Maybe it was literally that your father or sibling was saying, and this is the end of, Divers territory. This way is Greyhawk. Anything outside this, you're on your own. Don't travel past this. Slap on the back of the head. But you do see on the stone to the far edge of the map, you can already see from where you're at, in big, deep letters chiseled into the stone, an arrow saying Divers, an arrow saying Greyhawk.
Hey,
and you hear, "No, travelers!"
Who are these dudes?
hey,
And this
morning.
gentleman slowly walks out.
Yeah,
He's armed with a chain shirt and a halberd, and the halberd is he's not carrying the halberd neither in a defensive position or an offensive position. It's literally over his shoulder.
Yeah.
Like, I got to carry this thing because
Yeah.
it's what I do.
I'll just kind of pull my cloak back and unsnap the sheath. I know most sheath. Most sheaths have a little loop or something to keep the blade in place. Just to open it.
Yeah.
Hey, morning there.
Morning. Make a sense motive check. Aiken, please.
I would love to.
Can I do that too? I'm definitely stranger danger.
No, because there's no windowless vans or windowless carts.
I keep forgetting to drop. Oh, that's not a save. That's a check. Sorry, never mind. I'm okay.
You sense there's a certain low level concern from this guy, but it's not aggressive. It's more of, I'm testing you out to make sure you're safe.
Yeah.
Um,
And I'm probably throwing a similar vibe. A little on edge.
yeah, and he he plants his halberd down and he says, "Aye, I come from the gnarly. What news?"
It's dark there. Not a real friendly place.
Last eye.
Just making our way back
Aye.
back into divers.
Oh, and he turns around, looks to Rock. Aye, taking the North Rock will take you there.
Yep.
Oh, me masters, if you'd like to have a rest, you're more than welcome with them. They offer shade, maybe a little cup of wine, some sharing of news, or there's the pond. You're more than welcome there. It's not ours.
I'll look back at Axidel and Caleb and Ada.
Actually,
Yeah. Okay. Nice.
Ada kind of shrugs.
So these guys have got what looks to be, are they two covered wagons or are they carriages? What are they?
Yeah, two covered wagons.
Is there heraldic symbols on the wagons? Do these people look like guards? They're showing any kind of like city watch, county watch, anything?
No. They are armored and armed, but their arms are either resting against the table or resting against a tree or resting against a wagon. Obviously, they have a little table out. They've got some pottery and fare on the table.
While I'm at a distance, I kind of assess the situation to see if I can determine how long they may have been here. Are the horses detached from the wagons? Are the horses tied off in a tree line? Or does it look like they just arrived?
It's an excellent question. The horses are tied off, and they look wore the F out. I
Interesting.
mean, they just look like they've been pushed to the brink of movement. But for the size of the horses and the size of those wagons,
we don't know what's in those wagons.
right.
Does it look like they've got a camp? They got a campfire running? Do we see a lot of ass and trash, like they've just been littering in place, sitting here for days, like there's a well-established camp?
They have a small campfire that they keep going, but it seems pretty well cleaned up. I mean, it's not hardly any trash. Tents, bedrolls, anything like that have been put up. They're just kind of relaxing and enjoying the day. They've simply offered you traveler's fare. You're travelers, we're travelers. You don't look like you're trying to cut our throats, and we don't look like we're trying to cut yours. Maybe by the hallowed tradition of bread and wine, we can share information.
Turn over and look over at Caleb. cock an eyebrow questioningly. What do you think?
Oh, appears those horses have been run pretty ragged. Perhaps they're running from something. And there's only 3 of them. Those are 2 very large carts. If I was drawing that kind of carts around, I'd have a little bit more protection than that. My question is it just the 3 of them, or is there more hiding? There's a lot of questions and what ifs here, and only a few of us. I wouldn't suggest we stop here.
Yeah, they're all heavily armored and armed as well. That could be a challenge. Yeah.
The quote guard that had the halberd, he absently kicks at the dirt. I mean, he's not. It's obvious he doesn't care either way. He's just the messenger.
Yeah.
And it is a totally. I'm not trying to influence your decisions either way. It is a totally natural thing for people to offer. I don't even want to say hospitality, but this type of fellowship on the road, so to speak. And if you choose to take it, you take it. And if you choose not to, you don't. I mean,
that's why I turned to our expert travel guide.
I'm assuming I can kind of hear this conversation going on with Calum and.
Yeah, I think
Accident,
we're closer.
yeah.
We're definitely trying to keep it. I'm trying to keep my speech low. It's definitely us conferring. Yeah.
And I think I'm able to draw the conclusion that I was thinking as well, that we're going to move on. I appreciate your hospitality, but I'm anxious to get home to Divers, actually. So we're probably going to move on through, if that's all right. Not to create any offense or anything. I'm honored by your offer, but we just got to make for town.
Nice, suit yourself. He just walks his happy self back. Obviously, he's having some words with the 2 men. They look at your group. This gentleman with the cowl shrugs. One with the darker beard and the breast or half plate armor. He leans back, stretches.
His icon looks like a high-level fighter. You know it.
Sure. And he raises a drinking horn to you, nods, and drinks. He makes no motion to come near you, doesn't grab a weapon, nothing.
I'll kind of raise and wave. Yeah, kind of wave at him and nod, and I guess we'll make our way. I don't want to look like I'm watching them, but I'm going to watch, just kind of glance, just be alert.
Right, yeah. Oh, they're doing the same thing to you, making sure that you're not going to come at them, and they don't, it's not like they reach back, bringing their weapon up close to him or thing. Nope.
Crossbow, checking out the crossbow, practicing with the string.
The only thing that as you look around is that, let me get to it here.
I walk beside Ada as we go forward.
Like to keep somebody in front of this donkey or mule, whatever it was. I'm sorry.
Yeah, have Ada on my side.
So we behind it. That way, both sides were guarded because we're walking here with a potential goodie bag.
Oh, absolutely.
So we want to protect it first and foremost, but keep eye on the tree line because who knows if anybody's in there.
And actually, as you look around there, I'm pinging a man in a that had his back to the trunk of the tree, but he wasn't. I don't want to say this. He was guarding, but in a very lackadaisical manner. He was literally sitting down with his back against the tree, drinking his wineskin. He showed absolutely no interest in you whatsoever. It was, oh, I got to guard the wagons from this edge. Give me something to do. I don't see a playmate, so give me something to drink. And he just sat while the sun got hot, and he relaxed.
Mosey on through.
Yeah.
Mosey on through.
Take a left and head to Divers. Make our way.
Very good. All right. I don't know why I'm moving your characters. Do it
Feel free.
yourselves.
Feel free.
All right, and you make your way towards divers.
Yep.
I need. This will be a big telling thing.
Rating check? I got +10 on that.
Okay. You start coming into more and more civilization, so to speak, or signs of civilization. You see the herd of sheep being tended. You see some being tended, cattle being tended. And they're true to divers. They're the shaggy cows, unlike the southern cows, which are more of the, I'd say Holstein, but we don't have Holstein and Greyhawk, so we'll say the black and white cows. And eventually you come to a very small castle, flying the banners of divers, some noble. Aiken vaguely remembers it's some petty knight/baron of absolutely no name whatsoever. But if you were going to raise alarm for the dragon, this would certainly be the place to raise it.
Hey, perhaps we'll get off the road here and let these folks know they're the first real, armament, if you will. We've seen.
There's nobody better to tell a monster about than to another monster.
Yeah, good to let them know. There's danger to the south.
Yes, I think we'll head up the lane, if you will.
You make your way through the small but prosperous village, and the people of divers are true to their nature, and true to the word that you've heard rumored about them. They're very welcoming, very open. Most people, they stare at you for a second because you're armed, you're strangers, and they realize you're not offering any hostilities towards you, and you're greeted with a big smile and a nod. Farmers look at you, contemplate. What the hell are you doing on the road? Why aren't you out in the fields like a proper peasant? And then go back to tilling the fields or tending the crops or what have you. Eventually, you make your way up to the keep. Has the portcullis raised. Drawbridge is lowered, and I can't emphasize this enough. This is not a great castle. This is not a huge estate of parapets and battlements and many tall towers. This is like a tower and a wall and a building.
Yep.
Maybe two.
Hey.
Two guards walk up to you. There's guards with spears on the parapet looking down, taking interest at you. One comes up to you. He's got that 5 o'clock shadow that only 14-year-old boys can grow. That's patchy. Hi.
Hey, morning.
What you want?
I'll let him see me secure my my pommel in its sheath so he sees that it's not ready for battle. We come away from the south there in the gnarly. We'd like to talk to the Lord if he's here. Or she.
You want to talk to the Lord? You get that. I think the nobles. What business do you have with the Lord?
Well, we've got a bit of danger we encountered in the forest back there. We'd like to alert you all to the concerns. My name's Aiken Glendenning, and I'll offer my hand.
Just kind of look at it, and they're kind of confused.
I am visibly uncomfortable right now.
Let me make a roll here.
As usual, I'm observing these strange peoples of human lands.
Right. Right. It'll be just a minute. Uh, you can go sit down at the tavern. We'll send somebody to you.
Hey, that might not be a bad
Where's
idea.
where's that outside?
Yeah, he just point, and being a dumbass guard, he just points to the village you just came to. Yeah, you can't miss it. You passed it right on in here.
Hey, we weren't really paying attention. My apologies.
No worries. Don't
Yeah.
apologize.
Yeah, just tell him Aiken Glendenning from Divers is waiting on his large ship, and we'll share our news. It's quite an urgent matter, honestly. It's hard to tell people you're a knight when you got no proof, eh?
I look up at the banner, take note of the banner. It's like this, Lord, did you know? I mean, too serious about not being serious or something.
It dawns on you that you are out in the middle of sleepy town, so to speak.
These are the most dangerous kind of lords, in my opinion. Ones that think they hold a lot of power.
Hey,
And they really hold nothing.
no, they don't. I mean, look around you. I kind of chuckle.
We should have
Yeah.
just left the message and been done with it.
Do you head to the tavern? Do you stand waiting? What do you do?
You can take a load off our feet for a little bit.
Hey, I'd like to go to the tavern, yeah.
All right, you head back to the tavern, and there's a reason why you missed it. It's because there's no sign. There's no sign because everybody in the village knows where it's at. The concept of travelers coming through and staying here just
Where are you
didn't occur
going?
to them.
You're
Yeah.
already at the end of the road.
Exactly. And anybody that has traveled understands this, especially if you've traveled in the Southwest. You can, you walk into, and I hate to use this phrase, but it's a standard tavern. It is like a million other taverns across a million other out of the way, you'll miss it if you blink towns and villages. It's low roofed. It smells like barnyard animals because, well, it's where they keep them sometimes. There's some rough tables and chairs. Looking for fine spirits, fine drink, a quality mead, not here.
I peek inside as my teammates go in there, but then I pop back out and I'll stay with Ada in the mule.
And Ada looks at you. She says, "What the fuck am I supposed to do?"
You go ahead and go in. I'll stay here and watch things.
Right, but are we going to stay here? We're going to travel.
Well,
If we
I think
stay, do I?
we'll figure that out. I think first we'll give Aiken a chance to speak to the Lord. I would say don't unpack anything yet.
I didn't plan to.
Yeah.
Hey,
I think we're not going to stay long.
she looks around. It's probably a good thing. Being, you've got ears. No offense, they're a little pointy, and I don't see that many around here.
That's exactly the way that Ada speaks. You nailed it. I kind of roll my eyes.
She walks by and flicks one of them. Just saying. I mean, she doesn't like ping him hard, but
I think she knows already that I don't like being touched.
and that's what Ada would do.
Uh-huh.
She walks in, she looks around, and again, this is, I don't want to say it's a pigsty, but it is certainly a low-class tavern, and she plops her happy, tight ass, because she's a monk, don't take that out of context, right at the nearest bench and relaxes. She is completely happy and at home here. But now we've got Aiken.
Hey.
You're leading this group.
Yep. I'll wander in.
So, a middle-aged, pleasantly plump woman is tending the bar. Hi, travelers. How
Hey.
can I help you?
Afternoon. Just maybe a seat and a cold ale or two.
I can do that.
Yeah, very well.
Help yourself.
We'll find are there tables or is it all just like bars, stools at the
It's
bar?
like little benches and things around.
Yeah.
And there's maybe 3, 4 of them.
I'll just get up at the
It's
bar
not-
then.
She pours you a fair to middling
Yeah.
drink.
Hey, and one for each of my friends here, whatever they're having. I'll get this round.
All right.
Yeah,
At
take one.
a astonishingly exorbitant and dare I say highway robbery price of 2 copper pieces per drink.
Okay. I'll give her 10 copper. Give her a little tip. Hey.
Gives you a jug of ale.
Hey, very well. Thank you.
All right.
They're all sitting at the bar now, or
Ada is Ada, so she'll be sitting at a table. Like, I guess because she's tired of walking. Axadel is outside with the pack
right.
animal, and you two are inside.
Yeah, I see. If Ada goes to a
If I'm
table,
gonna have a conversation, I'm not gonna have it around other people if I can do so.
Right.
So
Gotcha. And Ada, I mean, she was one thirsty gal. I mean, she downs that ale like nothing. She's, it's like what my mom made. She starts drinking some more.
I'll bring Ada her ale and come over and sit with her. Hey, that hits the spot right there. Whew. Long day. Well, I hope this lard doesn't take all day to get down here and talk with us. Kind of roll my eyes a little bit. Say that quietly. Not trying to mock the guy.
Right. Hours pass.
Or not.
Long hours pass. You've managed to get a cold meal in the meantime. And again, it's, people come in, people go out. You've never been more bored in your life. And you're just a little frustrated because you kind of expected to see somebody by now. Finally, about 5 hours into it, 3 men enter. One has got a slightly large belly, so to speak. He's dressed in a leather jack. Has the heraldry on the chest of the castle, and he nods to the woman behind the counter. She nods back. She immediately starts pouring some ale, and he looks over. He says, so you want to talk to the Lord, do you?
I indeed, yes.
Which one of you?
I'll stand up.
All right. And he's about 6 feet, give or take. I mean, it's difficult to tell because he's in chainmail armor. He has a longsword by his hip, 2 daggers on his belt. One is obviously a soldier's dagger, very plain, very utilitarian. The other has got a large cabochon ruby or rounded ruby on the pommel. Might not actually be a real ruby. Might be. Not quite sure. But he looks at you and he takes off one of his leather gloves. So what you want to talk to the Lord about? He's busy.
Well, hopefully he won't become much more busy in an urgent nature based on our news, but we've stumbled across a pretty grisly scene back there in the gnarly forest that... how many people are in the inn, or the tavern, excuse me?
All of you and the woman behind the bar.
Okay. So I'll just kind of lean in.
I mean, that's it. I mean, there's...
Yeah. We found ourselves quite a grisly scene back there in the gnarly few days hence, and according to my elf friend here, all signs point to the existence of a pair of dragons, green dragons actually. They laid waste to an entire caravan, burnt the bodies to a crisp, tipped all the wagons over, destroyed everything. Real ugly
takes a drink and
sight.
starts to chuck. He takes a drink and starts to chuckle. Aye, a green dragon. Oh, and they burned the bodies.
Accident.
I thought my ma told me a bedtime story once. Thought it was the red dragons that breathe fire. But a green dragon did this.
Aye.
And he's got that condescending.
Yeah.
Why are you wasting my time with this?
Listen, I know it sounds fantastic and all. And I don't know, I'm not much of a name dropper. I don't know if this helps with my credibility. Perhaps you know my father, the Weaponsmith Guild leader, Mr. Glendenning. It's just trying to impress upon you that I'm not making up tales for my health. Just thought you might want to know there could be some serious danger not far from your little arrangement here, and I'll look around it. And I'll drip a little condescension of my own. Hey, Exodel, haven't you got a souvenir from that caravan? Maybe you want to show this joker.
Yeah, I think Axadel and Ada swapped out, and Axadel came in, and he's sitting there.
Oh, that's right.
He reaches into his pack, and he places these two dragon scales right there. He turns it over. He runs his finger along one edge. Looks like it's kind of dry now, but it looks like blood.
I've been told the same bedtime stories as your mom told you, so I don't want to discount that or be rude, but you might want to be taking this seriously.
Eyes widen as he looks at the two things that could be scales. Reaches down. He looks around like you've uncovered a treasure. Boy. Are those what I think they are? Are they really? He reaches out to grab one. He pulls his hand back. He puts his glove back on.
Hey?
He holds it up, looks at it. Oh.
I'll leave the little one with you here. You can assess it.
I don't know nothing about dragons. And you say you found this in the gnarly?
Hey. About, what are we doing? Is it 4 days or 3 days? Woo.
4.
Okay, so 4 days hence, straight down the road. I didn't want to cause any alarm, but I feel like we would be doing you a disservice if we didn't come let you know.
I think. And he snaps his fingers. The barkeep brings another jug of ale. Bring us a dark beer. I need to hear this tale. And he sits down. He plops his elbows on the table like a common mercenary would. You know, one of the salt of the earth.
Yeah.
I think I need to hear more of this tale. Explain everything that's happened.
I
don't need to be wasting the Lord's time.
Understood.
So is he now a bit more
receptive?
Yeah. Does he seem like he's now no longer necessarily just blowing us off?
Oh, absolutely. He's very interested.
Yeah.
Is it safe to say that you pass this information on, the full tale?
I would. Yeah. Stem to stern.
Well, as much as what we saw.
Gunnel to gunnel.
Yeah. That location, yes. What we had done previous, no.
Right. No, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I always think of really two things I'd want to add on to that. One being that we're not sure how far these hunting grounds go, but it's not far from here. And the second part is, with the variation of these scales, we see at least one youngling. doesn't mean there's not more. But with what we saw, this is savage. There's no rhyme or reason. It's just utter mayhem. We're not talking about something that's cold, calculating. We're talking about something that just lives off of a primal nature, something unpredictable.
Aye.
And we're not talking 2 bodies or 3 bodies. There were 75 or 100 people.
100 people.
It was a huge caravan. Archers, armed guards, armored armed guards. All just cut down.
Men and women
And
and
children. Aye.
You see the blood drain from not just his face, but even from his hands. You can see that slight shiver of it. It's starting to dawn on him on a primal level. The horror that they could be facing. That he's talking to what he believes to be witnesses of the nightmare become reality. That shouldn't, but is. Right. Are you staying here for the night?
Well, we just wandered in and we didn't really have a plan together yet.
Why don't you stay here? And I'm going to go talk to the Lord and see if you can't get an audience with the Lord.
Very well.
He looks at the small scale and says, I'm taking this.
Yep.
He gets up and he leaves.
We'll keep the big scale for divers.
Hey. Indeed.
And the pleasantly plump lady comes over and says, is it safe to say that you'll be getting a night here? Offer some of the finest straw in the land, vermin free and clean.
Kind of smirk and nod. I think we best stay here unless, so if his lordship wants to have a word, we can meet with him quickly.
Great you to stay also.
In a few hours, that same sergeant comes back, explains ever so quickly and eloquently, and that's sarcasm, that you will have an audience tomorrow first thing. It's not a question of if you want to be there first thing in the morning. It's you will be. And tonight you are guests of his lordship, which basically translates to you're not leaving the village.
Don't go anywhere.
Not until this tale has been told.
Yep.
Okay, so we get a couple rooms. We unload the mule. We don't make a big deal of it, but we unload our merchandise, and we're cautious and about securing it
Right.
to ensure it's well watched.
Right. Ada has everything wrapped up, so to speak. She's got her pitchfork on the outside, carrying it so it looks like a bundle of
Tools.
tools. I need, and as things are laid down and secured, I need Axidel to make a perception check.
What are the light conditions? Is it dark? It's kind of dark, right?
It's a little dark, yeah. I mean, there's the lamp light coming from the.
That would be a 23.
23.
Sound like-
I just for the record, I hate your perception checks.
Hey, I invested all my points.
Crushing.
It's obvious you do. I mean, you don't miss
crushing it.
shit.
Oh yeah, and that was a natural roll of. I guess it was a natural roll of a 10, so that's an average roll for me.
And
Just throwing that out there.
something's not right. She gets up to
She?
Ada,
Oh,
because you were storing things.
Yeah.
securing them.
What's going on, Ada?
She looks at you like crazy. What are you talking about?
I don't know. Something's not right.
She looks on.
Are you
What are you talking
okay?
about? I'm fine. Why? Do I look like you? Oh, speaking of which, this ought to silly me. You've been traveling for a while. I need Axidel
Make one check, right?
two. I need to make two fortitude checks, I believe it was.
So I think we get a plus 10 for that.
No. First one. This could suck. Oh, that's a good. Oh wait, okay. So it's a 12. Is that with your minus?
Yeah, I took 2 points off my con. So instead of being a +0, I get a -1 on for my fort. But I have a cloak of protection too. So
Very good. Okay. There's one. Make another one.
yes, sir, if you insist.
Oh, I do. And I hope you make it. Oh, very good. All right. So perhaps it was the fresh air. Perhaps it was the.
I think it was Caelim's magic.
I was gonna say Caelim's magic and the
Effervescent,
right.
Piney scented.
just like
That
know,
pine
right?
scented. That's right.
Shot
Magic.
the nose.
Perhaps that is what cleared you. But through your travels, you kept spitting up and
I'm coughing
up and clearing out your lungs, and that greenish pallor that he had has gone away, and he's now got that colorful white glow of you crazy alabaster. flavored
I'm
apples.
better. I'm better.
You are indeed better.
Off
That
that
would've
crap
sucked.
out. Nice. So I'm all better.
You are all better.
Such
Now
a
hold on.
benevolent and kind game master.
Well, don't go that far, because what that means is you are no longer suffering from anything, but your ability scores are still stuck at what they are.
Dude. I retract my compliments.
That's fine. I understand.
Ouch.
Evil.
But so you will still have to see a priest at a temple that can offer lesser restoration or a greater restoration or
Or medium restoration.
maybe some type of restoration or cure disease or what have you.
It's that guy.
That guy. What?
So-
The hitchhiker?
So what's wrong with Ada? I mean, something's not right.
No. Maybe it's not Ada. It's not. You go to inspect the goods.
I look out the window. I
No.
check the bushes.
You check the bushes.
I turn on
that's fine.
CNN. Something's
Right.
not right.
Something's not right. As you go to check the quote treasure, betrayal.
What?
You gingerly unwrap the trident.
Yeah.
You find a large pitchfork.
Ada?
What?
Ada, where's the trident?
She looks at you and says, it's probably back at the inn where I left it.
That could be worth thousands more
What
pieces.
thousands? But the thing was looking for it. Are you daft? I ain't being anywhere near that thing.
If you don't want to carry it, tell me and I carry it.
I'm not letting you carry it. You'll bring whatever that thing is with us. It was looking for it. But no, you and your magic wanted
It
to
was
destroy the.
It was destroyed.
No, the
That being
painting was destroyed. And I left it because it was only going to get us in danger, and that's the last I'm going to say because I can't do her voice any justice.
Well, I guess you left your share of the loot behind. Who else is going to use that?
Do I see any of this?
You hear bickering upstairs.
Okay.
Make a D6 roll.
A D6?
I'm a bit upset.
Even says that you were there. Odd says you were downstairs. And for those in chat, we have an error.
I was downstairs.
Did we lose ourselves? Huh. Oh, you were downstairs?
I was
No, you were
downstairs.
with them then? Oh, very good.
I rolled a 1.
Okay, so
So there is no small amount of frustration that I'm expressing to Ada right now. I am just beside myself with disbelief that she would abandon a powerful magic item worth thousands and thousands of gold pieces.
and that while you're going off, she says, shh, 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 hush. She puts her finger on your lips. It's done. There's no sense in crying about it.
She's touching my lips,
Yeah,
and I'm like,
she's totally-
I'm just
yeah.
beside myself. I'm livid.
It's done. It's okay. There'll be more.
I come over and look around.
She reaches down,
Are you two okay?
picks up a gold piece, and says, "And this is my share. I just left your share back there." Puts it in her pocket and walks away. Aiken, you were there for this whole exchange. I will assume that for just 2 seconds you were like a catfish.
Yeah, I've got like
When she reaches out, it's like, shh,
Ada,
over.
Ada,
it's done.
I
Ada,
don't even register her finger against my mouth. It's like I'm just.
Ada.
Oh yeah, you just dirty. Oh my god, it tastes terrible.
Ada,
She just
you get more share than
Alright.
that. You get more share than that, my friend. We'll sort this out. I understand what you done. He's just gonna need to. He's gonna need to understand as well. And Axadel,
she's just gonna
Axadel,
look
I
at
didn't
you like-
disagree, but I'm not gonna lie. I'm not too upset. We've gotten away from that nasty sticker.
I
And-
half
and-
want to go back and get it.
for the record, I texted her and said, "Hey, is this what Ada would do?
Oh,
Would she bring it
100%.
or leave it?" And boy,
That's baiting. That's DM baiting the player.
no, because she.
No, you nailed that, man.
Yeah, you
did.
read it, and actually, you've played Ada extremely well. So I feel like Maxine is here. So
Oh,
Yeah.
great. That makes me feel good. All right, so she walks down the steps and continues through the night. It is 3:30, which we will call it because now is a perfect time to call it. I'm going to, just going to call the game here because it's a perfect way to end. To our viewers, I would like our viewers to know that the party completely bypassed absolutely every encounter I had planned for them.
the
So
experience point. I love it. At least one.
I literally had things. I mean, there were things designed just for Josh to do, and the party picked Josh up and said, "No, we're just going to ignore this." So, Saverick, I apologize that you didn't get to cast many spells or get into very much combat, and
That's role play. That's all I care
Aiken
about.
and Geek Dice again. I didn't want to railroad you. You just like experienced adventurers. You said, "Ooh, stranger danger," past everything. So that just leads me to
You have strained.
change some things. So with that being said, I'm Wu-Tang Piglet. If you enjoyed today's show, great. I promise to have more action next show, one way or the other. There will be more action. If you like this channel, please follow us. Definitely follow these people. If you like the world of Greyhawk, I want to give a shout out to Greyhawk Online, Castle Entertainment, Lord Gazumba's channel. Those are also excellent places to check out. If you like the map at the beginning, that was the work of Anna B. Meyer. I strongly suggest that you check out her work on her channel and her Patreon account because she makes fantastic maps. And I'm going to hand it off to the players and let them introduce themselves.
I'll go last.
I'm Geek Dice, also known as Sean. You'll find me D&D PvP on Twitter, and I play games here. I play games in a few other places, and sometimes I'll announce that on Twitter. But I want to say thank you, Saverick, for joining us. I look forward for some follies next week. I hope you have a chance to come back. This would be great. And I'm loving it. This is fun. Hey, buddy, everybody, D&D's for everyone. Stick around. Come on back. See you again soon.
hope I come back because I'm the one that has the lesser restoration spells.
Just saying.
Just saying.
Just throwing that out there.
Just saying,
Yeah,
just throwing it out
yeah.
there.
Just saying it. I guess that makes me next. Who am I? I'm Saverick. I've been your player today, and hopefully your best friend. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, both at Saverick. What do I have going on? The end of the month, on the 30th, we're going to start a Blades in the Dark campaign, which is going to be a lot of fun. And here, probably in October, I want to say, I'm going to be starting a D20 Star Wars campaign.
Oh, yeah.
So whenever I get a cast together for that, I'll announce that. Otherwise, got shit going on. So thanks a lot for you guys having me today. I appreciate it.
Oh, very welcome. We're tickled to have you.
And I didn't fuck up Pathfinder my first game. So.
No,
Nice.
You definitely did not.
So, yeah, have me back sometime. I'd love to be back. Appreciate it.
Love to have you.
Yeah, and as Solace has said in the chat, we will be back here next week, 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight. Really like to thank Saverick for coming on, man. It's good to sling dice with you again. Glad to have you here, and we still have one more week without Ada, don't we?
We do.
So
We
I'm
do.
just gonna wink at the DM and Saverick and hope that the planes align, and we'll get you back in the chair next week. And I'll bet we could cut another hole in this box if we had to have you, work out an arc, so we can make stuff happen.
We can do that.
I have nothing going on next Sunday. I'll be here.
All right,
We-
cool.
Done deal.
It's done deal. Absolutely.
You heard it here
Alright.
first. So I'm Wiley Hobbit. My name is Scott, and this is the Wiley Hobbit Twitch channel, and we like to thank everybody for hanging out. Certainly love Solace throwing 1,000 bits at us today, and Tanith earlier with some bits. Tanith subbed, and a couple new followers. I'm not sure if it's Jenny Sim or yeah. I'm going to go with that, and Social Monoxide. So thank you all for that. We'll be back here 1 p.m. I threw some links out there for our Discord. Feel free to join. We have a really nice community. Good chill place to hang out and talk gaming of all sorts, not just Pathfinder or D&D. And then Mondays, tomorrow, 7:30 p.m., we'll run episode 2 of another new game on the channel, Mysteries in the Dalelands, and that's a D&D 5e game we've got going. And then Wednesday, we have another D&D 5e game, 7 p.m., also in the Forgotten Realms. That is the Dragon of Icespire Peak. We're playing that published module. So thanks to everybody. Woo, sorry we, like good party members, we threw all your stuff in the trash. But you have it for next time thing or whatever, to kill us with. So
You pick it up and you just insert
it's all
it
malleable,
somewhere
man.
else.
It's all
Just
flexible.
move it over.
Yeah.
So,
But what a fun day of role playing. I love those days when we get deep into the details of the minutia of stuff, and really humbled to be a part of this wonderful little ensemble. So, and Ada, Max, we sure miss you. Can't wait to have you back at the helm. So, but man, Woo, you absolutely did Ada justice today.
Right,
So good job,
right.
man.
oh, good deal.
Yeah,
Did I keep you folks on your toes?
did well. I'm gonna
Good deal.
if y'all
Yes,
will
Thank you.
indulge me for a moment or two, I'm going to quickly find someone we can raid, and then we'll get this
Absolutely.
thing wrapped up.
While
And while we
you're
do
doing
that, also virtual Greyhawk Con.
Yes.
Oh yeah, virtual Greyhawk Con.
So we had posted the command in the chat. Definitely recommend people who are interested in checking that out. There are probably still games that you can register. I know I've signed up to be part of Wiley's game and at least one more. There are probably opportunities to play. Some of that could be streamed, so definitely check that out.
Yeah,
Also, I believe. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think I might still have a seat in my game. I haven't looked in a while, but yeah, that could be. So, what were you saying, sir?
Good deal. I was going to say, I
These boys,
believe
as they
if
crusade
you're
against the
following
soups
or
and how they
paying
have
attention
control.
to us during this show, I believe we're going to have a giveaway next Sunday. So tune in for that, because we'll draw a name for that. If you're smart, you'll show up, because you got to be here to win.
All right, I think I found a channel to
Nope,
raid.
if you like dice.
Ooh, little foreshadowing there. Some shinies.
Yeah. Shinies.
All right, let me. None of my regular follows are live, so I had to go dig deep in the archives.
That's all right.
but I always like to do a little raid. All right, so
We're all for that because. Oh, Lord Gazumba says there's about 30 games still open for the virtual con. So if you want to play with some folks,
yeah, get in there.
plenty of games open.
Oh, is our game full? Thanks for the update. I'll have to go look at that. Good deal. Okay, we're going to go ahead and raid the Gilded Troll. They're playing some D&D, so thanks everybody for hanging out. Thanks for the bits and subs and follows, and we will see you all in a week.